Which brings us to this question. How can India contain China in Sri Lanka? Can it? Delhi has played a very proactive game so far. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has used cultural diplomacy to build the bridges between the two nations. But now India needs to do more. China wants to use Sri Lanka to expand its presence in the Indian Ocean. India will have to secure its turf. Our next report tells you about the cards India holds.
3 years ago, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid a special visit to Colombo. He was the chief guest for the International Vesak Day celebrations. That's another name for Buddha Purnima, the biggest festival for Buddhists. India's Buddhist legacy gives it a big advantage in Sri Lanka. The cultural connection is something that India's Prime Minister has tried to leverage on more occasions than one. In 2017, Prime Minister Modi visited the Sima Malaka temple, one of the oldest Buddhist temples in Sri Lanka. 2 years later, he became the first leader to visit the island nation after the Easter bombings. Soft power and cultural diplomacy is how India has tried to counter the dragon in Sri Lanka. But that alone is not enough. China has expanded its footprint in Sri Lanka by using its checkbook, pumping in around $11 billion by 2019. Recently, Beijing granted an urgent loan of $500 million to Colombo to battle the Wuhan virus. In response, New Delhi partnered with Japan to make investments in Sri Lanka. India and Japan signed a deal with Sri Lanka to develop a terminal at the Colombo port. There are plans to set up an LNG import terminal too. Recently, India and Sri Lanka struck a $400 million currency swap agreement. Colombo has even requested New Delhi for rescheduling outstanding debt. But Sri Lanka hasn't shown willingness to give up its dependence on Chinese cash. According to recent reports, the Colombo port deal is on a sticky wicket. Colombo is yet to greenlight the agreement, leading many to believe that Chinese influence is holding Indian investments back. A possible solution to India's China problem can be found in the past. In 2004, the Asian tsunami led to the birth of an alliance. Sri Lanka needed urgent humanitarian assistance. Colombo made the first call to New Delhi. Within 12 hours, Indian ships, aircraft and helicopters were dispatched to assist the Sri Lankan government. A few days later, the then US President George Bush announced that America, Japan and Australia will set up an international coalition, an alliance to coordinate rescue and relief efforts, rehabilitate the homeless and restore power and connectivity. This is how the Quad was born, a coalition of India, Australia, Japan and the United States. This is seen as an effective counter to China today. Until now, India has been cautious on the Quad. But with the threat of the dragon looming over the Indian Ocean, the Quad is an idea whose time has finally come. Bureau Report, WION World is One.